realfaith.org.au.
I could not know about a father's love because later on when I believe in God, they say, imagine him. He's like just like your father, kind and protective. But I have never have the experience of being wanted.
Welcome to Real Faith. Conversations about the impact faith has on our lives and the challenges we go through. Helping us today and giving us hope for tomorrow. That's real people, real life and real faith with Eric Scatterbo.
Amy Ko was born in Singapore and was given up for adoption a few weeks after she was born. She later found out that her adoptive father never really wanted her. She says, "I've experienced pain in my life and I wasn't able to trust anyone." Today, Amy will share her story and the miraculous ways God has shown himself to be fully worthy of her trust, especially after the doctors told her she only had months to live. Amy Ko, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Glad to have you with us, and thank you for joining us from your home in Perth. But you were not born in Perth. You were born in Singapore, is that right?
Correct.
And please tell us what happened shortly after you were born in Singapore.
When I was about 25 days old, I was given up for adoption. Mm-hmm. And this was instigated by my paternal grandmother, who said that not to have too many females in the family.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So in the culture, the Chinese heritage culture in Singapore, the paternal grandmother had enough power to tell her sons to give up one of their children for adoption. Is that right?
Yes, because they believe in filial piety.
What is that?
You honor your country and your parents.
Mm-hmm. And so your mother was forced to give you up by her mother-in-law.
Yes, that's right. And much later, I found out that the adopted parents, only my adopted mother wanted me and not my adopted father, mm-hmm. because they already have their own biological son. And that explained. But much later, when I knew about that explained why I always feel that preference treatment is given to my brother, my adopted brother, and not me. And it's very hurtful. And that's why I could not know about a father's love. Because later on, when I was believe in God, they say, imagine him. He's like just like your father, mm-hmm. kind and protective. But I have never have the experience of being wanted.
Wow. I mean, already we're hearing at such a young age, you had this theme of rejection. First, your parents put you up for adoption. Then, kind of a worst case scenario, the adopted mother who wanted you passed away, and you were left to live with the adopted father who really didn't want you. So again, a feeling of rejection. Is that kind of the theme in your early years of your life?
Yes. And that's why I have been seeking for hope in something higher, something better. Mm-hmm. And that's why it leads me to many exploration of different beliefs. I just attend because I just thought, there must be something that can fill me, because I do feel that I am empty, that I wanted something. And later on, when I was, I think, in my 20s, I do meet Christian people who bring me to church. But at that time, I still don't find an answer, because I look at the people and I find that I don't see Christ in them. Mm-hmm. And I think that also made me highly critical. Mm-hmm. And actually it's much to my own disadvantage to look at people. But then again, nobody come and tell me that you should focus on God and not on people.
Yeah.
And it took me until I'm 34, I become a Roman Catholic.
That's when you were baptized?
Yes, I was baptized.
Now, would you say you were devout, or what level was your devotion at that point in your life?
Just to obey, follow all the rules. I attended catechism classes, so understand that you cannot have abortion, and all the sins, and learn about venial sins, mortal sins, the need for confessions, purgatory, and all the. It's a lot of rules, but
Yeah. So
I
how did
am
you do?
happy.
You were happy?
I'm happy with the rules because I have been always thinking that, like Singapore government, you have to be law abiding. With my father, I have to, work for his approval, get good grades, be obedient. Don't go out late. If you go out, you must let him know where you are.
Yeah.
So it's all a very obedient person. But now that I become at this stage, I realize that these are just easy to follow, exterior rules. But internally, I am rebellious. It took me a long time to fully surrender to God.
So it sounds like following all those rules in a religion kind of fit in with the theme of your life up to that point, which was following the rules of your school, the rules of your adoptive father, etc. So kind of fitting in and obeying was the theme of your life up to that point. But you did come to a point where following rules was a bit of a challenge. Is that right?
Yes. When I just feel that it doesn't guarantee that I will be safe and happy, that sometimes it's too hard to forgive.
Well, following rules just tires you out after a while. I mean, there's more to life than just following rules.
Yes, and of course there is your own desire, your own wants, and I'm very highly sensitive, and of course always because I'm still thinking about myself, my own needs, my own own welfare, more like self-centered. And then, of course, and things do happen. I said, I've been trying to be so good, to be law-abiding, and yet, why do unhappy things happen to me? And that's when I feel very disappointed and start to close up. I put on a mask. I'll just smile. Everybody thought I'm very happy and contented. But deep inside, I am hurt and don't trust people. Yeah. Because they to me, what they say is they just give lip service. They don't honor their words.
Yeah.
And that's when trust in humans are eroded.
Yeah. So initially, it sounds like the following the rules was comfortable because that's what you were used to. But as time went on, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was when you found out that just obeying rules did not bring joy and happiness in and of itself. Is that right?
Yes, it doesn't.
And then also you were taught that not attending church was a type of sin. Is that right?
Yes. And that's why I have to make a confession, and I thought it's become quite a regular event.
So why did you stop attending church?
Because I thought it's hypocritical to make a confession knowing that I will break it again, that I will miss church because I'm too tired or have something more attractive, more that took my more of my interest.
Oh, so you were attending church out of obligation.
Yes.
To follow the rules, but not because you
Yes.
really wanted to. But then when you didn't go to church, then you were told it was a sin, but you could take care of that sin by confessing it. But you had no intention to change the way you were living as far as going to church was concerned. Is that right?
That's right. And after
Kind of a
that,
vicious circle you got yourself in.
yes. So after that, I just thought, I don't want. I feel that I think I did have that bit of conviction that is hypocritical. So I stopped. I stopped attending the Roman Catholic services.
Our guest today is Amy Ko, who's originally from Singapore, but now lives in Perth. As we're hearing, Amy was given up for adoption a few weeks after she was born. Also, she'd later learned that her adoptive father never really wanted her. These and other experiences led her to have a lifelong feeling of rejection. However, we'll hear how God begins to heal her wounds and how she's reunited with her birth mother. That's all coming up when we return right here on Real Faith.
The Word for Today is Australia's most widely read daily devotional, designed to give you practical teaching to keep you focused on your relationship with Jesus. Read it online or subscribe to the free printed edition at thewordfortoday.com.au.
You're listening to Real Faith, conversations with real people about how God works in their lives. If you want to know more about integrating faith into your life, our website is realfaith.org.au. Just go to the website and you'll find helpful articles about the impact faith can have on your life. Once again, that's realfaith.org.au.
Welcome back. I'm Eric Scatabo, and today I'm chatting with Amy Ko, who's originally from Singapore and now lives in Perth. As we heard before the break, Amy was given up for adoption a few weeks after she was born, and she grew up with a feeling of rejection. Next, we'll hear how she's finally reunited with her biological mother. Okay, let's get to the part of the story where you finally are reunited with your biological mother. How did that come about?
After my adopted father died, 2 years after his death, I returned to Singapore, I say, for one last visit. By that time, I was already in Perth. So I returned to Singapore for one last visit. That was in 1998. And prior to migrating to Australia, I did try to look up my biological family. But they have already moved away from their old address. And I go back to look for her to look for my mother was because back in 1989, when I don't have a family, so I thought I will create one, by having raising a family of my own. But in 1989, I had an ectopic pregnancy. And for the next 9 years, I remember at the anniversary of when I had the baby, I lost the baby.
Yeah.
So when in 1998, I thought, when I went back to Singapore, I said, how can a mother who has given birth to me, how can she ever forget me when I myself could still remember the anniversary date of a fetus that I lost. I haven't, he hasn't even did any kicking or been born or been held by me. So I said, I will want to look for her one last time. What I want is to find out why. Why am I given up? What's wrong with me? Why don't you want me?
Yeah, I'm hearing this theme in your life of your deep desire to be a part of a true, healthy family with a mother and father and love and siblings. That sounds like that was a deep desire that you've always had, but unfortunately, up to this point in your story, different things have it's been kind of a worst-case scenario. You ended up with the adopted parent that didn't want you. And then now you're finally seeking your biological mother. How did you finally get to meet her?
So I believe it's God's timing because it's so easy. I went up to the registry of birth and death in Singapore
Mhm.
and tried to find out how to get my contact with with my, because I know their names.
Mhm.
And so but they said, it require a lot of official documents, and so I turned away disappointed. And then I was just thinking, I look up the telephone directory because I have their English name. And
Yeah, now in the past you tried to do this, but they were registered in the Mandarin Chinese
yes,
directory, so
in
that's
the
why you didn't
Chinese
find them?
Chinese directory, and because of course I don't know the translation, I didn't think of looking up a Chinese, and I don't know their Chinese equivalent
I see. Yeah.
of their names.
Mhm.
And then behold, that I found the entry of my father's name. So I took down the phone number, and then and I rang, and the number, and a lady answered the call. And so it was a very awkward conversation,
Yeah.
to say that I am so and so, and I'm looking up these people who are my biological parents, and I just don't know how to carry on. And at the other end, the lady told me, "I'm your mother,"
Oh, wow.
and I was, stunned.
So it was
And-
your mother
and
who
then-
answered the call?
Yes. And she said she knew, without any doubt that it's me, because my voice is very much like my eldest sister, because I have two older sisters before me.
Yeah.
And so then she said, "Oh, where are you?" And I said, "I'm in Singapore." Then she said, come and meet us. And she gave me the address. And that's when I rushed down, and
wow.
and we meet. And so it's and things never look back. I'm so glad that I found her, because many years later, she brought me back to God.
Yes, let's find out about that. But before we get to that story, had your mother tried to find you at any time?
Yes, she did. But you see, until Singapore become prosperous, and the business is really good, then she thought she wanted to look for me, and but that by that time, when they could find me, we have already migrated to Australia.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So, and as you shared earlier, your mother never wanted to give you up. It was the pressure she got from her mother-in-law which forced her to.
Yes.
So how did that make you feel when you found out your mother really wanted you?
But even before finding her, because I have this, I did believe that when I become a Roman Catholic, the Holy Spirit did heal me in a way, because I forgive my mother. Before that, I was very blame her. How can my mother give me away?
Yeah.
But by the time when I was looking for her, I just want an answer of why I was given away. But there was no more resentment.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother actually told me when she came to look for me, she expected me to scold her, to berate her, because she felt a lot of guilt in giving me up, especially when she found out that I was not that happy with my adopted family, because from my neighbors, they are aware of all the duties I have to look after my adopted father, and so she felt very guilty. But I assured her, and I was so happy that I could tell her that later on, that she should feel proud that she has as a parent, she has brought me to God. And what better gift can a parent give to her child than to bring her to God? Because she will be well looked after. And my mother was very relieved and happy with that. And it's also because of that was in 2005, my mother brought me back to church, and she comforted me to say that what happened in your youth is not important. It's better that you are happy when, towards the later half or the later half of your life.
Unfortunately, we're running out of time, Amy, but I want you to come back again and tell us how exactly your biological mother led you to the Lord, because that's a whole story in and of itself. So could you come back and tell us that story as well?
Sure.
Well, that was part one of my conversation with Amy Coe in Perth. And as we heard, next time, Amy will share the full story of the role her biological mother played in leading her to faith in Christ. Also, Amy will share how God miraculously healed her from cancer after she was told she only had months to live.
With radiation, they said it takes 5 days for it to have effect. So I started treatment on a Monday. By Saturday morning, I feel something was different. And the thought came that when these professionals, these doctors, declare that it's incurable, then God stepped in and made the radiation work.
That's all coming up next time. But at this point in Amy's story, we've heard how several themes in her life are emerging. Amy's experienced rejection, loneliness, and distrust of humans. As Amy's story continues, we'll hear how God works in her life to heal her emotional wounds and how the Lord shows himself to be fully worthy of her trust. Amy now says, through various painful trials, God has proved his faithfulness and has won the trust of a broken person with a major rejection issue. We'll hear how this all plays out in Amy's life as we hear more of her story next time. Until then, I'm Eric Scadabo. So long, and God bless.
You've been listening to Real Faith, and if you have any questions or comments, you can send us a message through our website, realfaith.org.au. That's realfaith.org.au.
Real Faith is a production of Vision Christian Media.
This program is a production of Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, see vision.org.au.